Alright, what's up everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Who guys having a good one? And today we are finally doing my 2023 NBA playoff predictions. We're only doing the first round because if I did a full one, it would be a very long time. We're gonna keep it going as it goes on. Yeah, playoff prediction. Taking a break from the look-in series for now. The look-in will be coming back probably later, like tomorrow or something. Thank you guys for the views on the vids and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. If you like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications on, stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, very excited for this. Let's not waste any more of your time. Get right into it. So we'll start off in the Eastern Conference. We'll go with the 1-8 matchup. Get out the way. The Bucks and the Heat. The Bucks had the best record in the NBA. They won 58 games. They were dominant throughout a lot of the season. The Miami Heat. They're the 7th seed. They went to the play-in. They lose the first game against the Hawks, and they win the second game against the Bulls to get to the 8th seed. Honestly, I kind of like that the Heat won the play-in game because I feel like this is a lot more of a better series against the Bucks and the Heat than the Bulls are. But then again, they're kind of like the same-ish, so I don't even know if that's true. Yeah, I just think the Heat don't have the offensive firepower to keep up with the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks defensively are very good. I mean, they're going to have Brook Lopez. Drew is one of the best perimeter defenders. Giannis, is former defensive player of the year. So they're going to have the defense, and offensively, they have it all on offense. They have the three-point shooting, and the role players they have Giannis, who's the best player in the NBA. Drew has had an amazing season. Brook Lopez has been really good offensively, and even with Chris Middleton not even being fully there a lot of the time, even if he doesn't come out and be like the normal Chris Middleton we're used to seeing, they still have so many other offensive players they can go to and help. So I got the Bucks in 5 in this series. I think Jimmy Butler is so good in the playoffs that they maybe can take one, just because their team and their defense and how they play, and the way the Bucks shoot a lot of threes. I feel like the Heat probably could get one game. Jimmy might go off for like a 40 piece. They get one, but I ultimately feel like the Bucks are just gonna overpower the Heat because they have so much offensive firepower. It's not gonna be a 5 and like the Bucks are gonna win by 30 every game. The Heat are definitely gonna make it more competitive, but ultimately I got Bucks in 5 in this series. Next we have the Eastern Conference 4-5 matchup. We have the Cavs and the Knicks. This has potential to be the best first round series, especially in the East. The East, this is by far the best first round matchup. Throughout the entire NBA, this has potential to be the best one as well. Yeah, you got two teams that are kind of very similar. Two teams that have had very good years. The Cavs finished 51-31. This is their first playoff appearance since 2018. Their first playoff appearance without LeBron on their roster since '98. And the Knicks finished 47-35. Had a big bounce back year after 2 years ago making the playoffs, shocking the world. And then last year, they really struggled and fell off. So they're back this year. Yeah, very excited. The Knicks won this series in the regular season, 3-1. They held the Cavs to like 81 points in one of the games in the series. Both these teams are pretty solid defensively. The Cavs are the best defense in the NBA. Both of these teams have really good offenses. The one thing the Cavs have over the Knicks is the star power. They have Donovan Mitchell, who we're going to see, who is known for being a big playoff performer. He's had a 50s and 40s in the playoffs before. Darius Garland is one of the better young point guards. Evan Mobley is very solid offensively, and Jared Allen as well. They have the Cavs have the offensive firepower over the Knicks, but the one thing the Knicks also have over the Cavs is their depth. The Cavs, after the top 4, is like shaky. The Knicks, they have Randall, who could possibly be coming back today. I won't be surprised if he does play today. Jalen Brunson has looked like an all-star level player this year. But after that, they have the depth. Even though RJ has been kind of struggling this season, they have the guys like Quinn Grimes. Mia Quickly is probably the 6th man. Josh Hart, Isaiah Hardenstein, Mitch Robinson. Like after the top 4, the Knicks probably have the better players after that. Oh yeah, the X Factor. The Cavaliers is gonna have to be some of their wings and some of their role players knocking down threes. They're gonna need the guys like the Karis LeVerts and the Isaiah Coros and Ricky Rubios and stuff to knock down their shots and come in and contribute something. They don't need to come in and score 20, but they just can't be bad. They can't be out there just doing nothing. They have to come in and contribute in some way, whether it's on offense or on defense. Isaiah Okoro is going to contribute on defense. It's just the other guys, what they're going to do out there. And then for the Knicks, have to be their defense. I feel like the Knicks are going to have to come out and play really good on the defensive end. They've been very solid defensively. They haven't been amazing. So they need their guys to come out and really defend, especially the guys guarding Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. I assume they're probably going to put RJ. I would guess maybe on Donovan and Quinn Grimes on Darius, and maybe high Jalen Brunson on like Isaac Okoro, I guess, is what I would think they would do. And then the other end, I guess, who are they going to put on? I guess they're going to put, I don't know, maybe they put Isaac on Jalen Brunson or Donovan on Jalen Brunson. But then, yeah, that'd be a lot of work for Donovan on both offense and defense, unless he's up for the task. And then you put maybe Darius on Quinn Grimes and Isaac on RJ, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, very, very excited for these two teams. Especially these two teams are kind of similar. They're very grinded out. They're not high scoring, high powered offense, even though they have the potential to have big offensive games. They're more defense, grimy, hustle, kind of dog like mentality. Both these teams are. It's going to be a very exciting series. I got Cavs in 7. My personal, what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for this series. I think the Cavs have the advantage just because they have Donovan and Darius can both go off for 30 and 40 when they need to, even though the Knicks have the same thing with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. But I think the Cavs, just overall star power and their defense, can show up in clutch games, and they can win that series. Next, go to the 3-6 matchup, the Sixers and the Nets. The Sixers had a very good year. They have the probable MVP in Joel Embiid. James Harden had a very good year. They finished 54 and 28. They have a very good team. And the Brooklyn Nets went through a lot. They don't have KD and Kyrie, traded both of them away. They fell to 45 and 37. Still made the playoffs with Mikal Bridges looking like a star. Spencer Dinwiddie playing really good. Nick Claxton had a very good year. Yeah, love this Brooklyn Nets team. But ultimately, I just think the lack of a star is really going to show in the playoffs because they don't have really a go-to guy that's like, here, like they had KD. Like if they would have kept KD on this team, here, KD, take us home. They don't have anybody like that. They still have a really good team that's going to be all around and move the ball. But I feel like in the playoffs, that those type of teams aren't really that successful unless they're elite at something. And this Nets team isn't elite at anything. They have really good players, but yeah, I think ultimately the Sixers are just gonna overpower them. Joel is probably gonna be doing whatever he wants. Nick Claxton is a very good defender, and they have some good wing defenders. But I also feel like Joel, you can't really stop him. Harden's gonna be big in the series as well, scoring and finding his teammates. I think the Sixers just got an easy, well maybe not easy, but they had a good matchup in the first round. They got a good, all right, we can just get this team out of the way, get some rest maybe for the next series. Yeah, I got Philly in 5. I think the Nets are good enough a team, and they have the kind of unexpectedness to win one game. Mikal Bridges might go off for 30 one game, or Dinwiddie might have a big 20-point, 12-assist game, and some of these guys, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, knock down some threes. I feel like they have a good enough team that they're going to win. They're going to steal one randomly, like game 2 or game 4 or something. They're going to randomly steal one. But I ultimately think the Sixers are just better than the Nets in this series, and they're going to win it. In the final Eastern Conference first-round matchup, we got Celtics, Hawks. The Celtics were number 1 for most of the year until kind of about just January, February. They kind of started being inconsistent. The Bucks overtook their spot. But the Celtics still had a very good year, finishing 57 and 25. Jason Tatum had a great year. Jaylen Brown was spectacular. Their role players were really good. And they're all the way up to the 2 seed with their new coach and Joe Mazzulla. For the Hawks, very inconsistent all year. Struggled a lot. Snuck into the 8th seed. Won the first playing game. They finished at 41 and 41. And got to the 7th seed. I just don't think the Hawks have enough. And I've been too inconsistent this year to show me anything that they can keep up with the Celtics. I think the Celtics are kind of saw the Hawks win and they're like, yes, let's go. We don't have to play Miami. We play Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's just been really consistent this year, honestly. Like on both ends. Like offensively, it's been kind of Trae Young just trying to do something. Their role players have been very back and forth. This team's just very built weird, and then defensively as well, they're very consistent. They're still trying to find themselves. I think the Celtics are just really good. Jason Tatum, who's guarding Jason Tatum out of Atlanta? I don't really know. And then after that, after you put him on, well, probably DeAndre Hunter. But then after that, you put probably DeJounte on Jaylen Brown, I would guess, who are good defenders. But it's just, I don't know. I think the role players being consistent are going to be key for both these teams, and whose role players are going to step up. I'm going to show more, and I think the Celtics have shown that their role players are going to step up and do more. So honestly, I got Boston at 4. I honestly think the Celtics can sweep the Hawks. I won't be surprised if Atlanta does win a game just because they have Trae Young and DeJounte, and maybe the Celtics, they rely so much on that three that the Celtics one game, they're probably going to have a stinker from shooting the ball. So maybe I'll say 5, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep for Boston. Like, I think they're too good on offense and defense that they're just going to overpower Atlanta. Now we're going to go over to the Western Conference. The 1-8 matchup, Denver Nuggets, the best team in the West. They finished 53-29. Kind of struggled and limped to the end of the season, but they still were really good. Nikola Jokic had another MVP-like season. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. came back and were solid. They had some very solid stuff from the role players. Aaron Gordon was really big for them as well. Then for Minnesota, made a big trade for Rudy Gobert. It didn't look great. Started the first 2 months, 3 months, very bad, but then they kind of pulled it together near January. Struggled. Game 82, they fell apart. Rudy Gobert had the punch. Jaden McDaniels broke his hand. Naz Reid's not going to be in this series. Limped in to the 8 seed. Lost the first playing game and then blew out the Thunder in the second playing game to finish 42-40 and get to the 8 seed and play the Denver Nuggets. I think with the Timberwolves having the injuries of Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid in them, it's going to be really tough for them. The good thing is the Nuggets don't have really a perimeter guy that goes crazy. Well, besides Jamal Murray, I guess. But they don't have a wing that's going to go in and cause a lot of damage. So I think that's a plus for Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota just has to. They need Anthony Edwards to be Anthony Edwards in this series. They can't have Anthony Edwards be like what he was in the free playing games. They need Anthony Edwards to come in and be a guy in this series. They need Karl Anthony Towns to be solid on both ends as well. Because the Nuggets, they don't have two bigs. They have wings that are going to run, like Aaron Gordon is going to make a lot of effort and impact plays on both ends. And then Nikola Jokic, I'm probably going to put Rudy on him, but last time they had Rudy on him, Jokic went crazy on him. So, yeah, ultimately, I got the Nuggets in 5. Yeah, I got the Nuggets in 5. I think the Nuggets are too good offensively that they're going to wear Minnesota, especially with Minnesota not having McDaniels in there. It's going to be big. Big loss because even though I said they don't have a wing player that's going to impact a whole lot or it's going to go crazy and score 30, still having your best defender out there is a huge plus. And the Timberwolves are very kind of inconsistent and weird. So I got the Nuggets winning in 5 in this series. Now we have the 4-5 matchup, Phoenix and the Clippers. The Suns made a big trade for Kevin Durant at the trade deadline, and they went undefeated with him. They go 45-37. The Clippers, injuries, of course, always impact them, but they finish off the year pretty well. They go 44-38 as the 5 seed. Paul George will most likely not be in this series, which really, really sucks, because that would have made the series a whole lot better. For the Suns, we haven't seen them lose without Kevin Durant yet, but we also haven't seen them play an insanely good team like the Clippers have the potential to be. For the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard is a different animal in the playoffs. Let's see how he is. The Suns to win this series, I think they need Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton to come to be Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. They need Chris Paul to come out and be the playmaker and knockdown shooter that he has been. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going to do their thing. They need Chris Paul to be the third guy to come in and have those big 12, 13 assist games, and then hit shots when they need him to. And they need DeAndre Ayton to be in the paint. They need DeAndre in the paint on both ends to be very good. They just need one of those guys to be number 3 and step up and look really good. For the Clippers, it's going to take a lot, especially without Paul George, one of the better defenders, and, offensive players, of course, as well. They need big contributions from everyone, though. They need Russell Westbrook to be really good like he has been for the Clippers. They need guys like Eric Gordon and Nick Batum and Norman Powell when they come in to be effective and knock down shots, and be on the offensive end as well. And their defense needs to be really good. They need everyone to be locked in on the defensive end. Paul George really changes the series, I feel like, for the Clippers. I'm gonna go Suns in. I'll go Suns in 7 still. I still feel like the Clippers have a good enough team where they can push the Phoenix Suns and still win some games. And Kawhi is going to be really good in the clutch. But ultimately, I think the Suns, if Paul George doesn't come back in the series, I think the Suns have it. Now we'll go to the 3-6. The Kings and the Warriors. The Kings are the best team, or the most unexpected team this season. They had the best offense historically. They were really good. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox were amazing 1-2 punch. Then their role players really stepped up and was good. Mike Brown probably going to win Coach of the Year. They go 48-34, snapping the 16-year playoff drought. And we'll have their first playoff game in Sacramento since 2006. Very excited for that. You know, the Warriors, the reigning champs, are very inconsistent this year, especially on the road. They were horrible. Defensively, left a lot to be desired. Their bench was not that great, but they still had a good enough team where they got in at 44-38 as a 6th seed. Very, very interesting series. Both these teams offensively are very good. The Kings have an historic offense. Waiting to see what happens in the playoffs with them. The Warriors, people still give them a lot of the benefit of the doubt because they are the reigning champs and they have been a dynasty for the past few years. And Andrew Wiggins is going to be back. He's going to be coming off the bench and play about 20 to 25 minutes. The Warriors on the road have been a very different team from what we usually see from the Warriors. So that's going to be a big factor. For the Kings, offensively they're going to come with it. The Kings they don't need to be a full 4-quarter lockdown defense. The Kings need defensive stops when they can get them. The Kings need like 4th quarter lock-in defensive stops. Because this could probably be a high-scoring series, especially with the Warriors not being an amazing defense this season either. The Kings just need clutch 4th quarter stops when they can get them. And the Warriors just need to stop turning the ball over in this series. I feel that's going to be a big factor. The Kings are one of the best offenses when they can. So when you give them turnovers, you give them easy shots, they're not going to miss them. So the Warriors need to stop turning the ball over and cut the turnovers down to win this series. I think this is going to be a very fun series. It probably has potential to be the funnest series of the first round. In my prediction, I'm still very torn on who I'm going to pick. I think this is definitely a 6 or 7 game series. And I'm going to go with, you know what? Give me Sacramento. Give me Sacramento in 7, man. Give me Sacramento in 7. I think the Kings have been too disrespected. I feel like the Warriors have been very weird this season. Even though they still have guys like Steph, Clay, Draymond, I think the Kings are going to just outwork them on both ends. They're going to outscore them. They're going to be clutch, and they can get the defensive shots when they need them to, and they can win this series. And the final first round series is one I'm very excited for. 2-7, Grizzlies, Lakers. The Grizzlies were very good all season, even though they had some drama. They still finished this year off really good and finished 51-31. The Lakers started the year off horrible, made big trade deadline moves, were a lot better in the second half of the year, won the first play-in game and a big comeback, and finished 43-39 as a 7th seed. This is a very, very interesting series. The Grizzlies don't have Steven Adams or Brandon Clark, 2 big guys that were going to be huge in the paint. The Lakers love to get to the paint, so that's going to be big. The Grizzlies probably have an advantage of being a faster-paced team, I would guess, and be a better 3-point shooting team with Desmond Bane and Jaren and Luke Kennard. He has a big 3-point shot and all this stuff like that. But the Lakers, they have the experience. The Lakers have the better defense. The Grizzlies' defense hasn't really been the same, but the Grizzlies do have Jaren Jackson, the probable defensive player of the year down there as well. This is going to be a very entertaining series, I feel like. It's going to be a lot of antics, maybe some trash talk, some big performances. I think it's going to be a very entertaining series and one that's going to be very fun to watch. For the Grizzlies to win this series, the Grizzlies need to lock in on defense, I feel like, to win this series. The Grizzlies need their defense to be at an all-time high. They want to win. When you're going against LeBron and the way AD has been playing, they're not going to stop LeBron on AD. They just need everyone else to be stopped. They can't have the big Dennis Schroeder making big shots, or D'Angelo Russell making big shots, or Malik Beasley hitting 6 threes, or Rui Hachimura having big shots. They can't have anybody else have big shots. LeBron and AD can do them. Of course, they're going to try to slow them down, but they can't have the others come in and make big impacts. And then for the Lakers, they need offensively, they can't go on cold streaks. The Grizzlies are pretty solid offensively. John Morant, they have the Desmond Baines and Dylan Brooks and Jarens that can go off for 20 whenever they can. And Grizzlies are going to be very energetic, so they need the Lakers need their role players to be effective. They can't have D'Angelo Russell do like what he did in the play-in. They can't have Malik Beasley go on cold stretches. They can't have that. They need their role players to really step up and be big in this series. For my prediction, I got the Lakers winning in 7. I just think the Lakers been playing really good recently, and I think LeBron and AD are gonna have huge series. And I don't know. I just think the Grizzlies, with the loss of Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, is big for them, and I think they haven't been as consistent on either end as you want them to be. And I think the Lakers are gonna come out and make a big statement and win this series. I got them in like 7. Still, I think it's gonna be still a very competitive, very fun series. I got the Lakers, though. Yeah, that's it for my first round playoff predictions. Very, very, very excited for all of these games. Also, as a tidbit, I don't really care who wins any of these first round series, so my prediction kind of really doesn't matter, because even though I predicted like Lakers in 7, if the Grizzlies win in 6, I'm not going to be like, oh, dang. Like, I don't really care. I just want to see some amazing basketball, which I think is what we're going to get. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, if you do like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, all stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And I will see you guys tomorrow.